everyone. Reproductive tract infections, RTI, HIV infection. All of you might have heard about a dreadful disease called AIDS. 85% of the cases are between the age of 18 to 30 years, and as why they are spreading very fast. So what are the reasons? What are the possible methods or the mode of transmission? Knowledge what you gain in this particular chapter is definitely helping you a lot. Hello everyone, welcome back to session 5 of this important chapter called reproductive health. What did we learn in session 4 of this chapter called reproductive health? We learnt about very important concept, that is about the contraceptive method, that is the permanent contraceptive method which is adopted both in male and female, that was called as vasectomy and tubectomy. So it was also called as the surgical method also, or it is called as the sterilization method, and male sterilization was called as vasectomy and the female sterilization was called tubectomy, which was performed through general anesthesia. Particularly in vasectomy, a small incision was made in the scrotum and the vas deferens was exposed, and a part of the vas deferens on the both sides was cut and tied. So this prevents what? The movement of the sperms, the transport of the sperms. And in tubectomy also, which was performed through general anesthesia, a small incision is made in the body wall and a part of the fallopian tube on both the sides is cut and sealed. So this also prevents the transport of the ovum. So these were the two very important permanent methods to avoid unwanted pregnancy. Then we studied about medical termination of pregnancy, which was short form called as MTP. And we also studied what is this MTP and why is it conducted. But as I said, it was legalized in 1971 to avoid the frequent removal of the fetus and also to avoid or to check the female feticides, right. So what are we going to study in today's session? Today's session is very important. As I said, this chapter itself, reproductive health, is not only helping you all to pass out your PUC, but the knowledge what you gain in this particular chapter is definitely helping you a lot, right. So that we can overcome many diseases like what I am going to discuss in today's session called sexually transmitted diseases. So in today's session, I will be discussing about the sexually transmitted diseases and about a very important concept called infertility, which is almost rising to a high level in the present scenario. Both infertility is both in male and female. So what are the reasons for infertility in male and female? How can we overcome such infertility in the male and the female? What is infertility? All that we are going to study in today's session. So let me move on to the first concept of this chapter called reproductive health. The first concept what we are going to discuss is sexually transmitted diseases. Short form we use a word called STDs. What is sexually transmitted diseases? What is the short form? STDs. What are sexually transmitted diseases? Sexually transmitted diseases are the diseases which are transmitted through sexual course with an infected person, not with a normal person. That is, sexually transmitted diseases are the diseases that are transmitted through sexual intercourse with an infected person. Right, and STD is that is sexually transmitted disease is also called as venereal disease. Short form is VD. STD, that is sexually transmitted disease, we call it as STD. And as I said, sexually transmitted disease is also called as venereal disease, VD, or it is also called as reproductive tract infections, RTI. Right, so sexually transmitted diseases can also be called as STD, as I said, STD, or it may be called as VD, or it may be called as RTI. So STD is sexually transmitted diseases, VD venereal diseases, RTI that is called reproductive tract infections. Hope you can see in this beautiful picture like what are all the examples for sexually transmitted disease. So here you come across herpes, chlamydiasis, gonorrhea, herpes, right. So all these are the examples for sexually transmitted diseases. Now let us study one by one, right. First one is HIV infection. All of you might have heard about a dreadful disease called AIDS, right? Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, which is caused, actually the sexually transmitted diseases are either the causative organism might be a bacteria or a virus. So HIV infection is caused by HIV virus, right? Human immunovirus. Hepatitis B is caused by hepatitis B virus. Hepatitis B virus. Genital herpes by herpes simplex virus. It is called herpes simplex virus. Syphilis is caused by Treponema pallidum. Treponema pallidum. Genital warts by human papilloma virus. Then gonorrhea, Nosema gonorrhoeae. Then syphilis, as I said, it is caused by Treponema pallidum. Chlamydiasis bacteria. Then trichomoniasis by protozoan flagellate. So I repeat, what are sexually transmitted diseases? Sexually transmitted diseases are the diseases which are transmitted through sexual intercourse with an infected person. As I said, sexually transmitted diseases are also called as what? Venereal diseases, or they may also be called as what? Reproductive tract infections, right? What are the classical examples for the sexually transmitted diseases? One is HIV infection, that is AIDS is one example. The other one is hepatitis B. Third one is genital herpes. Fourth one is syphilis. Fifth one is genital warts. Sixth one is gonorrhea, right? Then seventh one is chlamydiasis and eighth one is trichomoniasis. All these are the names of the sexually transmitted diseases. As I said, these sexually transmitted diseases are the causative organisms, might be a bacteria, might be a virus, or might be a protozoan. As I said, HIV, AIDS is caused by HIV virus. Hepatitis B is caused by hepatitis B virus. Genital herpes is caused by herpes simplex virus, Treponema pallidum bacteria. Then genital warts is caused by human papilloma virus. Then gonorrhea, Nosema gonorrhoeae. Then chlamydiasis by a bacteria. Then trichomoniasis by a protozoan flagellate. So sexually transmitted diseases are very spreading very fast, and almost you can say 85% of the cases are in the age of between 15 to 30 years. 30 years. So we can see that, and also we can say 15 to 18. So 85% of the cases are between the age of 18 to 30 years, and as I said, this is one such disease which spreads very fast, right? That is the reason it is very difficult to overcome this sexually transmitted diseases. So what do you mean by sexually transmitted diseases? Sexually transmitted diseases are those diseases which are transmitted through sexual intercourse with an infected person. It is also called as what? Venereal disease. It is also called as RTI, that is reproductive tract infection. So what are the examples for sexually transmitted diseases? HIV, that is AIDS, hepatitis B, genital herpes, syphilis, genital warts, gonorrhea, then chlamydiasis and trichomoniasis. Moving on to the possible methods of transmission of STDs. We should understand why, as I said, the sexually transmitted diseases are spreading very fast. Why they are spreading very fast? So what are the reasons? What are the possible methods or the mode of transmission? That we have to understand first. By having sex with unknown partners. As I said, this is a disease these are the diseases which are caused through sexual intercourse. That means by having sex with an unknown person or multiple partners. So that is the reason why this is a very common method of transmission of the STDs from an healthy person, that is from an infected person to a healthy person. So by having sex with an unknown partners or with multiple partners. Second very important mode or method, by using unsterilized needles and surgical instruments. Hope you know that particularly in drug users, So they share the needle. So it is not, they don't use a new needle. So it is unsterilized. And not only that, suppose if a person has been infected with STDs and he or she has to undergo a surgery. So after the surgery, all the instruments that are used for the process need to be sterilized, because the next surgery has to happen, and before the next surgery is going to take place, all the surgical instruments should be sterilized properly. If not, definitely even a healthy person, chances of a healthy person getting infected with such STDs is quite common. So care should be taken to see that all the instruments that are used at the time of surgery are sterilized. That is, what is a possible method of transmission of STD? First one is by having sex with unknown partners or with multiple partners, so that is more than one partner. Then by using unsterilized needles and surgical instruments. Third, by using infected blood and blood products at the time of blood transfusion. Here you can see, at the time of blood transfusion, there are cases where a person is in need of blood. To gain the loss of blood, they have to go for blood transfusion. That is, transfer of blood from one person to other person based on the possible blood group. What is the correct blood group? All that care has to be taken. But not only that, care has to be taken that the blood is not infected with a STD person. Right. So by using infected blood and even the blood products also may also be a reason for the possible method of transmission of STDs. So care should be taken by the blood bank people to check the blood before going for a blood transfusion to a healthy person. So whether the blood is free of infection, that care has to be taken. Even the blood products also should be free of infection. From the next very important possible method, a woman, HIV positive woman is carrying, and there are chances of the fetus which she is carrying also being infected with the HIV virus, or even from HIV infected mother to the child through the milk during breastfeeding. Right. So there are chances of from the mother at the time of pregnancy, from the mother to the developing fetus also, there are chances of the fetus getting infected with the HIV virus, or maybe if a HIV infected mother feeds the child during the breastfeeding, also chances of getting infected with the STDs to the child also is quite common. So all these are the possible methods, right? So what are the possible methods of transmission of STD? Here you can see that one is blood transfusion, that is unsterilized needles if they are not used, and during the process of pregnancy a woman is HIV positive, and the fetus what she is carrying also will have the chances of being infected with HIV virus. So what are the possible methods? One is by having sex with unknown partners or with more than one partner, that is multiple partner. Second, by using unsterilized needles which is not sterilized, that is contaminated, right, or infected. Then surgical instruments also, as I said. Next, by using infected blood and blood products during the process of blood transfusion, or from the mother to the fetus when she is pregnant, or from an HIV infected mother to the child through the milk during breastfeeding. All these are the some of the examples, or I can say some of the possible methods of transmission of STD. Hope you have understood. As I said, this is one such concept which is very important for us. We should know what is the mode of infection, what is the reason for the infection. So then only we will be aware. So awareness need to be created about the sexually transmitted diseases, particularly in the younger generation. Moving on to the next very important this one concept, that is, what are the principles to prevent STDs? So in the previous slide we came across what are the possible methods of infection. Yes, for every problem there is a solution, as I said. So what will be the simple principles to avoid or to prevent STDs? As I said, you should avoid sex with unknown person. So better is going for monogamous partners. So safer part is going for monogamous, that is single partner. So avoid sex with unknown partners or multiple partners. Particularly having sex with an infected person will definitely, the healthy person also will get infected with the sexually transmitted diseases. That is safer sex, right? Next, very important, always use condoms during coitus. So in the previous sessions we have come across the contraceptive methods that are implemented to avoid unwanted pregnancy or getting infected with the sexually transmitted diseases. So one such is use of condoms, a contraceptive method which will definitely protect them from being infected with the sexually transmitted diseases. So it is a very, very important point to be noted. So always use condoms during sexual intercourse to avoid getting infected with such dreadful sexually transmitted diseases. Always use sterilized or disposable needles and surgical instruments. So I think nowadays every hospital we come across, we have this disposable needles. Those were the days where the needles were boiled and reused again and again, but gone are those days, because people are aware of such dreadful diseases nowadays, and possibly they go for this disposable needles. And not only that, all the surgical instruments or the instruments that are used at the time of surgery need to be sterilized, boiled and sterilized. Like autoclave machines are also there, which is used to sterilize all the equipments, even the clothes that are used during the process of surgery, to avoid getting infected with such dreadful diseases, and particularly AIDS also. And next, in case of doubt, one should go to a qualified doctor. Suppose he or she is infected with any of the sexually transmitted diseases, should not have social stigma, should be fair enough to open up with a doctor and tell the symptoms to the doctor, approach a doctor, qualified doctor, and definitely the doctor will be able to help them out to overcome such dreadful diseases. Suppose by chance if it is detected, yes, he or she is infected with any of the sexually transmitted diseases, then definitely take proper treatment. Diagnosing the disease and treating the disease is very, very important. For diagnosing the disease, he or she has to go to a doctor, qualified doctor, and after detection, suppose the doctor tells that he or she is infected with any of the sexually transmitted diseases, then immediately they have to go for a proper treatment. Then definitely they can overcome such sexually transmitted diseases. So here you can see awareness should be created among the people. So if sufficient awareness is there about this mode of transmission of these sexually transmitted diseases, then definitely the people will not get infected with such sexually transmitted diseases. And as I said, avoid drugs and alcohol. As you know, the drug addicts will keep on sharing the needles, so chances of getting infected with sexually transmitted diseases is quite possible. So avoid what? Drugs and alcohol. Educate yourself, that is, one has to educate them oneself and also educate others also. So create awareness. As I said, avoid what? Sex with unknown partners or multiple partners. As I said, safest is going for a monogamous partner, that is a single partner, and get tested. By chance, if a person feels that he or she has some symptoms of these sexually transmitted diseases, definitely go to a doctor and get tested and take proper treatment. As I said, limit partners. As I said, only go for a single partner. So all these are some of the principles which need to be implemented to to prevent themselves from being infected with such sexually transmitted diseases. So what are the simple principles to prevent STDs? One is avoid sex with unknown partners. Next, always use condoms during coitus or during intercourse. Then always use sterilized or what? Disposable needles and surgical instruments during the process of surgery. So the next surgery has to be conducted. Before that, all the things that are used for the process of surgery need to be sterilized. Then in case of doubt, as I said, if anyone feels that he or she has some symptoms of this sexually transmitted diseases, need to approach a qualified doctor, go for a proper diagnosis and go for a proper treatment. All these are the simple principles to prevent STDs. Now what will be the possible symptoms? That also we should know. Suppose if a person is infected with sexually transmitted diseases. So as you know, the symptoms vary from a person to person. It may not show the same symptoms, right? So it is variable. The symptoms are variable. Second, most of the time we find that there is itching. Itching in the genital region, then there is a fluid discharge in the genital region, swelling in the genital region, and sometimes that is, as I said, swelling in the genital region, unusual discharge from the genital region. Right. So symptoms, what will be the possible symptoms that a STD, that is sexually transmitted infected person shows? What will be the symptom? As I said, the symptoms vary from a person to person and even from a disease to a disease also. So first one is what? Itching. Itching in the genital region. Common symptoms are itching in the genital region, swelling in the genital region, as well as unusual fluid discharge in the genital region. And one more thing is, usually females are asymptomatic. So that is the reason why the disease remains undetected for a longer time. So in that case, it is very, very dangerous. So, and even not only that, he or she will have, very important is the social stigma. What will people think if I go to a doctor and tell that I am infected with sexually transmitted diseases? So that social stigma is holding up the persons from going to a doctor and sharing about their disease to a doctor, so that it can be treated at the earliest. So these are all the reasons why even why these sexually transmitted diseases are spreading very fast. The social stigma that the people will come across to disclose such sexually transmitted diseases. So at the same time, symptoms are also equally important to understand what are the how these diseases are caused. So symptoms, only when he or she goes to a doctor and discloses the symptoms, then only the doctor will be able to diagnose the disease. So this particular concept is very, very important. So what are the possible simple principles to prevent STDs, and what will be the possible symptoms in a sexually transmitted disease person? Next, hope you have understood all the concepts of this very important session, that is about sexually transmitted diseases. As I said, educate yourself, avoid drugs and alcohol, talk to partners, go for a safer sex with a single partner, avoid multiple partners. If it is they feel that they have some symptoms of sexuality, get tested. So moving on to the next very important concept, that is infertility. A very, very important concept to be discussed, which is, we can say at the present scenario, this is very, very common both in male and female. What do you mean by infertility? Inability to bear a child. That is inability of a couple to bear a child or to have children is called infertility. What is infertility? Inability of the couple to produce children in spite of unprotected sexual cohabitation. That is, inability of the couple to produce a child is called infertility. As I said, now it is on the high rise. The infertility rate has increased day by day, and there are a good number of reasons for infertility in human beings. General, what will be the infertility reasons? So it may be due to physical aspects. As I said, the reproductive organs should be developed well. Particularly, you might have come across that the physical aspects are also one reason for infertility. If the ovary is not well developed, or if the testis is not descended in the scrotum, all these are the reasons for infertility in human beings. Next, it may be due to congenital diseases. What do you mean by congenital diseases? Right from the birth. So maybe some defect or in the formation of the reproductive organs, maybe right from the birth, that may also be a reason for infertility in human beings. And it may be due to use of certain drugs. There are some people who continuously take drugs or medicines continuously, that may have an effect on the hormones or may have an effect on the reproductive organs. So they may fail to produce the gametes, and obviously they will be they'll have the inability to bear a child. Next, it may be due to immunological and psychological aspects. Even psychological aspects are also very important to carry on the process of fertilization. Psychological aspects also may deter in carrying on the fertilization, and that may lead to infertility. So what is infertility? Infertility is nothing but the inability of the couples to produce a child. What are the reasons? Now, I hope you can see in this beautiful picture, good many numbers are given. So now let us see one by one. You don't know when you ovulate. So as you know, ovulation is a very, very important step of the menstrual cycle, as you have studied in the previous sessions. So as I said, you can only get pregnant within short fertile period from 24 to 72 hours. So the women should know what is the ovulation time. Then diet is very, very important. Your diet. So stay away from fast food, restaurant food, junk foods, and food laden with empty calories. So, no calories at all, no nutrients at all in the food what we eat, right. So, if you go for such foods, this is also one reason for infertility. Avoid junk foods. Particularly nowadays we have come across in this modern world in the name of urbanization, like people are going for what we call it as fast life. So, maybe that is a reason even women also, particularly women smoke, women go for alcohol, drugs, etc., etc. That is also one reason why females are not becoming pregnant or they are having this infertility, right. Now, third one, overweight. Overweight also is one reason for infertility. So, even if a woman or a man puts on overweight, then definitely there will be a hindrance in the production of the gametes. Next, sperm problem, as I said, too much of alcohol or smoking or illegal drugs. So, if a person is addicted to too much of alcohol or smoking or taking drugs like narcotic drugs, that also might be a reason for the cause of infertility. Then even going for too much of sex with the multiple partners also may be a reason. Then very important is age. So, as women age, their fertility declines. So, actually declines beginning at age of 30. So, once she reaches the 30 years of age or more than 35, like more 30 to 35, then definitely she will have some problem. So, it starts decline, the fertility will start declining from the age of 30 and almost it declines when she attains an age of 41. So, early the age like to bear a child, it is better, right. Next, you need to wait longer. That getting pregnant as I said does take time. So, for example, like 30% of women get pregnant in 1 month, 60% within 3 months, then 80% within 6 months and 85% within 1 year, right. So, next, you are too stressed, that is ninth reason. As you know, stress releases what? Cortisol, the stress hormone that can throw hormones out of whack and stop ovulation. So, definitely stress will lead to what? Stops what? Ovulation. So, that is the reason also why females are becoming infertile. Then very important is you have a medical problem. Particularly the females will have PCOD, that is polycystic ovarian disease. So, maybe that is also one reason why the females are unable to bear a child. So, these are the good many number of reasons for infertility. Now, let us discuss the actual like one by one what are the defects for infertility in males and what are the defects in females for infertility. So, common causes in male, that is, now let us see what are the defects in males. First very important defect is deficiency in the gonadotrophins. Hope you remember in the previous sessions we dealt about FSH and LH. These are the very important hormones which regulate spermatogenesis in males. So, deficiency in these hormones or hormonal imbalance is definitely going to affect a very important process called spermatogenesis, which you have studied in the previous session. So, deficiency in the gonadotrophins may also be a reason for infertility in males. Second reason or defect is undescended testis. As you know, the testis is descended in a scrotum which maintains a lower temperature than the body temperature to help in what? To help in spermatogenesis. So, when the testis is not descended in the scrotum, maybe that is also reason for infertility in males. Next, blockage of sperm ducts. Many reasons are there for the blockage of the sperm ducts, particularly the vas deferens which carries the sperms, maybe due to TB or maybe due to some diseases like gonorrhea, the sperm ducts are blocked. So, that is also reason for infertility in male. And blockage of sperm ducts will lead to what? Azoospermia, that is non-motility of sperms or no sperm production. You can also call it as no sperm production. No sperm production, right. Then oligospermia, it may also be, this may also be a reason for the infertility in males, that is called oligospermia. Oligospermia means what? Less sperm production. As you know, all the sperms, though a good number of sperms are produced, all will not be successful in fusing with the ovum. Many sperms are destroyed or lost, right. So, in that case, a good number of sperms has to be produced. But in this case, you find that less sperm production is also a reason for infertility in males. And already as I discussed, STD, sexually transmitted diseases, are also a reason for infertility in males. Hope you have understood what are the reasons for the infertility in males. So, here you can see that structural defect in the development of the male reproductive structure, and as I said, erectile dysfunction, that is defects in the penis, male genital organ, that is due to erectile dysfunction. Then mobility of the sperm, that is, as I said, what will happen? Azoospermia means what? Non-motility of the sperms. As you know, sperm is motile and ovum is stationary. So, the motility, if it is lost, then the sperm will fail to reach the ovum and fuse with the ovum and carry on a very important process called fertilization. Then volume of the semen, as you know, semen is what? Seminal plasma with sperm is called semen. So, which will have less number of sperms. Then obstruction in the genital tract, that is the sperm count. All these are the common causes for male infertility, and this is a very important concept to be learned, and which is also asked in the exam. What is infertility? What are the causes for infertility in males, right? Moving on to the next important concept, that is, so far we discussed about the reasons or the defects in males for infertility. Now, what are the defects in females for infertility? Why infertility is caused in females? What might be the defects in females for the cause of infertility? First, as same like deficiency in gonadotrophins. As you know, FSH and LH is very important for ovulation. Here for ovulation, hope you have studied in my previous session called human reproduction, LH surge. So, on the 14th day of the menstrual cycle, there is a high level of LH, which will help in the Graafian follicle breaking open and the ovum being released. Rupture, the mature Graafian follicle ruptures and the ovum is released. LH is very, very important, LH and FSH. So, deficiency in gonadotrophins, that is hormonal imbalance. Hormonal imbalance. And hormonal imbalance is due to many reasons. Maybe the stress which a female may come across in her career. All these are the reasons why the deficiency in gonadotrophins will lead to infertility in females. Second one is defective vagina. So, as you know, the female genital organ region, maybe there is a defect in that, maybe that is the reason why she is not able to bear a child. Then defective uterus, as you know, uterus is very, very important part of the female reproductive system for implantation. So, if there is a defect in the uterus, definitely implantation will fail to take place, and obviously she will not be able to bear a child. So, defective in the uterus. Next, blockage of uterine tube, as you know, very, very important. The fallopian tube is very, very important. So, where the male gamete and the female gamete comes and fuse, particularly you have studied ampulla isthmic region is the region where the process of fertilization will take place. So, if that uterine tube or what we call the fallopian tube is blocked, obviously the gametes will fail to meet each other and the process of fertilization will not take place. As I already discussed about lack of ovulation. Why lack of ovulation? Due to the deficiency in the gonadotrophins. And tumor in the uterus. Anyhow, I am going to explain all these defects with this beautiful picture. Then improper development of the uterus. All these are the defects in females, which is a reason for the infertility. So, first one is what? Deficiency in gonadotrophins, defective vagina, then defective uterus, then blockage of uterine tube, lack of ovulation, tumor in the uterus, and improper development of uterus. Here you can see in this picture polycystic ovaries. So, ovary is a very, very important part of a reproductive system in female reproductive system where the process of ovulation will take place. So, you can find some cysts here, right. So, that is the reason why ovary fails to produce the ova. Then you can see here blockage of uterine tube. that is blockage of the fallopian tube. And here you can see the uterus is not completely developed here, there is an uterine septum, partition is there. So, the movement of the implant, it is very much going to hinder the process of implantation. Here you can see the polyp also. Then here you can see the fibroids. Fibroids in the uterus may also be a reason for that is they fail to have a child. Then infection, that is the cervical infection also is one, and all this may also cause cancer, right, cervical cancer, which is quite common in nowadays. All these are the reasons for endometriosis also might be the reason. So, all these are the reasons or the defects in females which causes infertility in females. Hope you have understood what are the defects in males and what are the defects in females for being infertile. But definitely I can say that ARTs, that is assisted reproductive technology, will definitely help the couple to have a child of their own. As I said, science and technology has improved to such a greater extent, even the issueless couple can have a child of their own. That is what I am going to speak about in the coming session. So, what are the concepts I am going to discuss in the coming session? As I said, assisted reproductive technologies, ARTs. So, in the previous session, like in this session we discuss about the causes for infertility in male and female, why they are not able to bear a child. But as I said, science and technology is definitely going to help the issueless couple, and one such ray of hope is ARTs. What is ART? Assisted reproductive technology, the technology that is implemented to bear a child. So, one such is IVF in DT, in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer, or what we call it as test tube baby program. You might have heard about a word called test tube baby, right. So, this is also all these are the important concepts which I am going to discuss in the coming session. Then GIFT, that is zygote intrafallopian transfer, then ICSI, that is intracytoplasmic sperm injection, then GIFT, etc., etc. All those are the ARTs which I am going to discuss in the coming session. Hope you have understood all the concepts what I have taught you all in this session, right. Till then, in the coming sessions I am going to deal with the remaining concepts of this chapter called reproductive health. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.